Hello, I'm Lucy, and in this video I'm going to be sharing our plans, our home ed plans for this academic year, which we're already into, and I'm going to be sharing the books that we're using and share a little bit about what our week looks like. So if you're following me on Instagram, you'll know that we are going through a period of transition at the moment, and we're living with my parents whilst we look for a new place to live. My husband has a new job and we are looking for somewhere to live in that area. So whilst we're going through this period of change, I really wanted to have a structure and something to follow as we lean more into the Charlotte Mason philosophy of education. It's something I've been reading more about over the last couple of years. So I wanted to follow Ambleside Online just to give us a place to start. And I've chosen some additional resources as well, which I'll share in this video and give you a bit of an insight as to what we've got planned. So at the moment we're doing most of our sit down learning, we call it table time, every weekday apart from a Wednesday. On Wednesdays the girls are going to forest school. So each day we will spend some time reading some books, usually over breakfast. And then we will do some language arts and some maths, and then we'll loop the other subjects that we're doing. So we're using Ambleside for history, geography, nature study and artist study. I'm sort of dipping into the music composer part as well of Ambleside, but very much just dipping our toes into that at the moment. So these are the books that we're using at the moment over our breakfast, or if we don't manage to look at them over breakfast, we'll do this as the first part of our table time. And we have a poet which we've chosen for this half term, and that's Joseph Coelho, I think that's how you say his name. So the idea is to read a poem of his every day, one of his every day, and we tend to also use the I Am a Seed That Grew the Tree book and Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright, or we'll read sort of an autumnal poem. And then we've also been looking at George Muller and reading a chapter of this book over breakfast. We've recently finished that, so we're looking for another one to start. So if you've got any recommendations, I'd love to know what those are. Please do comment below if you've read any from that series. And then after breakfast, we tend to do maths. I'm going to talk about maths in a separate video. And then we will move on to language arts. These are the books that we are using for language arts. So in addition to the Ambleside books, I've chosen Ra, the Mighty Cat Detective. And the reason I've chosen this is because the girls wanted to do a cat paw print challenge badge. So I thought this would tie in nicely with that. And the idea is that each sort of half term we look at a different chapter book and we'll read through it together, and that will be the basis of our learning our grammar and our punctuation and a bit of spelling as well. And so I take a little excerpt from the text and do different activities with that. And the other book that I wanted to show you was the Just So stories. This version I found on Amazon and really like the look of it because it's got some lovely illustrations in it, and the stories have been retold by Ellie Woolard, and they are like poems. There's lots of rhyme with the stories, and I just thought that the girls would really enjoy that version. These are the resources that we're using for history, and I bought the girls these history timeline notebooks. And inside they have got a timeline, which is very cool, and there's space for them to actually add their own history at the beginning. And let me see if I can show you. So we've already added Francis Beaufort and when he created the Beaufort scale, just as a little example, and it goes right up to the future, 2099. The other resource that I wanted to mention about was this version of Our Island Story. Originally, we had the black and white version, which is this one, and there are pictures inside it, but as you can see, they're black and white. And I decided to get this version instead. The text is a lot bigger and the pictures are in colour, so I decided to get this one. I managed to get it second hand, so that was a good bargain. The other book that's on here that's not part of Ambleside is Britannia, 100 Great Stories from British History, which a friend of mine very kindly lent to us. And we haven't read from this yet, but I thought that we might have a look at this instead of the 50 famous stories retold. But we are enjoying these stories. They're quite short, and so far we haven't dipped into that one, but it's there in case we want to. That's history. For geography, in addition to the Ambleside books, we are using this map of the United Kingdom. I decided to buy the Let's Explore the British Isles book, a geography reader, which again isn't part of Ambleside. But I really liked the look of it, and the girls and I have started looking at the United Kingdom, and I just felt that they were ready for a bit more of a challenge and to find out more about the country, their own country that they're living in. And then alongside that, we've also got Primary Atlas as well for looking at maps of the world and more detailed maps of the different areas in the world as well. So those are the books that we're using, and I've also bought some sketchbooks to use alongside. This is obviously for artist study, and for our artist study, which I haven't mentioned, we're going to be looking at a different artist each half term or term. If you want to see a little bit more about what we get up to on a daily basis, then follow me on Instagram. Yeah, but I hope that you found this helpful. If you've got any questions about the resources that we're using, please do comment below. And if you've got any recommendations for resources for a weather topic, that would also be really helpful. That's going to be our special focus for nature study. So do please let me know if you've got any recommendations for that.
N-O-P-Q-R-S-T.
T, brilliant. So do you want to open it there? What's the, do you know the next lesson? Can you hear the next? And for our artist study, which I haven't mentioned, we're going to be looking at a different artist each half term or term. If you want to see if you want to see a bit more if you want to see a little bit more about what we get up to, I'll just refilm. This is the last clip.